Good afternoon and welcome to another in our series of the Saturday Sports Special. It's the weekend edition of TalkSports, and this is where we meet and we chat with the movers and shakers of sports, the sportsmen, the sportswomen, administrators, both past and current. And this weekend, well, we're sticking with cricket a bit. As you know, for the past week or so, we have been doing quite a bit of cricket, including, this weekend where it's very important for West Indies cricket in terms of the leadership, where the elections will determine who will continue or who will lead, West Indies cricket for the next 2 years. Well, the incumbents, Ricky Skerritt and Dr. Kishore Shalor, they are being challenged by the president of the Guyana Cricket Board and the vice president of the Barbados Cricket Association, the BCA. And that's Sanasi and his running mate. They are challenging the incumbents. So it will be interesting come Sunday to find out whether the Skerritt Shallow team will continue for another 2 years, or whether there will be new leadership for the Cricket West Indies. Well, this week we return to the island of Grenada, where we'll be speaking to two gentlemen who have been involved in cricket for many years, as way back as we can find. It doesn't really provide any insight into their age, but what it does is provide the longevity in the sport of cricket. And I'm speaking of both Ray Duncan, and I'm using Ray Duncan because obviously of seniority in terms of age, and Mr. Rawl Lewis. Rawl Lewis is no stranger to the program, no doubt, and Ray is a newbie. So that's why I'll probably want to introduce Ray first. But, without saying much, let me introduce our two guests on the program. That's Ray Duncan and Rawl Lewis, two former Windward Islands, and, well, I should say Grenada and Windward Islands players. And no doubt they have made a valuable contribution to the development of cricket in Grenada and the Windward Islands in particular. And Rawl continues to another level. And Ray, who has been a bit conservative all his life, is still continuing to make a contribution to the development of cricket. Let me say good afternoon to both Rawl and Ray. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Michael, and thank you for having me. Good afternoon, Skipper.
Good afternoon, sir. Gentlemen. Good afternoon.
Right. Good afternoon. And as I indicated, it's a long. I want to say that, and I knew I mentioned that to you. It's a secret that there has been, while some people have been clamoring for the development of cricket at the youth level, but this has been in existence for quite a while. But I assume because of the people who are involved, yourself, Ray, and Rawl, who have been a bit conservative, not the type who, boast a lot, that it hasn't been known a lot about this cricket youth program that has been going on for quite a while. So what I will do, probably ask Ray to probably give us an introduction as to what has been happening over these years with this cricket youth program, and then we'll interchange with Rawl coming in every now and again, and we have quite a number of photos and videos to show as well. So we expect a lively discussion about this cricket youth program that has been in existence for quite a while, and Ray has been the mastermind behind it with support, all-round support, I would say, from Rawl Lewis, and no doubt we'll hear more about it. But Ray, what is this program about? It has been going on for a while. Why not much being said about it? And when we looked at the folks who would have come through this program, you mentioned some names and said, just to name a few, But tell us more about this youth cricket program.
Well, again, Michael, as I said, thank you for having me, and a pleasant good afternoon to listeners and viewers of the program. Well, this program has been in existence for well over 30 years. It started off with, let's say, just the evening sessions, and we move into a holiday program. That when the kids off on vacation, that's when we will do the program. And it developed into this program now that every Saturday morning we have the program running. At the beginning, it was a selected group of individuals that, coming out of the primary and the lone secondary school in the parish, that you're asked to come in the afternoons and you continue doing a little work with them. And it progressed to where you ask anybody who are interested in cricket to just come into the program. And to date, you will find, and given years of the program, 60 plus kids out there on a Saturday morning, from time to time doing the program. And as you said earlier on, just happy to see the sort of progress that we have made over the years.
And you say on a Saturday, including this Saturday, right?
Of course, this Saturday. I had to cut short this morning by 1 hour, but I told the kids that we'll make it up next Saturday. We will extend the time for 12 to 1 to make up for the loss today.
I appreciate that. And Rawl, your involvement?
Well, Ray Duncan have been a longtime friend of mine, coach of the national team when I played. So we were neighbors in St. David's as well. So, we've always remained close. He started this program, and, I didn't know much about it in the beginning. But after learning about the program and visiting Lassages to have a chat with the kids sometimes and checking up with him and how it's going, I really the program grew on me. Just looking at the youngsters out there and, the type of discipline that they show and how he runs the program, I decided to get closer to him and be more involved and, started giving him support to actually keep the program running. So I'm pretty happy to do that. And it's exciting to see what happens now and where the program has gone. That's why I believe we have to start exposing the program to more people so that, we can continue to grow the youngsters.
Mm-hmm. And just for folks wondering, Rawl is actually in Antigua with, as you know, he's a current team manager for the West Indies team. And he is, as you will see in his introduction there, as the West Indies team manager, and he's taken time off at least to speak with us. In fact, Rawl, once he has the opportunity and it's convenient, he's always making time to be with us. So Rawl is actually a veteran of the program. He has appeared on the program more than anyone else. I think
Michael,
he has.
I will not miss a program with Ray Duncan for anything. Okay.
Well, well, I told Ray that once it's convenient to Rawl, he will be on the program. And that's why I wanted to ensure that you are available. So, and it's basically in the middle of the test series. I know you're getting ready for the next match, So I appreciate your involvement, and not just with Ray, but once it has to do with sports and cricket in particular, and the development of cricket, you always make yourself available. So that's the appreciation I want to extend to you in terms of being part of the program to ensure. And as Ray and as Rawl indicated, this thing seems to have grown out of proportion. I want to use that word, or words rather, in that it started off as just ordinary, coaching, passing on, imparting knowledge. And it's something where so many kids are, benefiting from such program. And I say that to say that some of our current cricketers on the national and, the national team and Windward Islands / West Indies teams have also come through this program. Could you provide some insight into some of these cricketers who have benefited from this program over the years?
Yeah, it's quite a few, Michael. My list is a long one. On record, maybe I would have missed a couple names, but to date, I have 54 names recorded of individuals who would have attended the program and went on to represent Grenada and Windward Islands. I should even go as far as West Indies at various age group levels and as senior players. I would want to refer to Fletcher. He's out there more than anyone else. So Fletcher is one guy who passed through the program. Kester Sylvester would have been the first person to pass through, played for the Windward Islands, represent West Indies Youth Under 19 in England, I think it was. Neil and Pascal also. We have Roland Keto, Clyde Telesford, Ian Henry, Joel Cado. The list is such a long list that, in calling names, I might just miss out a few fellas and not call the name, But these are the players who would have gone, further than the rest. But it's quite a lot. Some 54 names of fellas who would have gone through that program.
Mm-hmm. And the support from the public, particularly the parents with the youngsters now, we've seen quite a lot of kids involved, and I must say both male and female. What's the support like from the parents?
Great support. I can't say anything that they are really supporting the program, because at any time you call on them, they are ready to respond, because normally we would have this to carry a coup, where we carry the kids up there to engage in friendly matches with on the sister isles with the same age group. And some of the parents would accompany the kids. Some of them would travel with us to provide meals and so forth for the kids while we out there playing and training and so forth. And it's overwhelming. You could call on them just at any time and they would respond. I must say, hearty thank you to Track Blazers Athletics Club, the teacher Kathleen and Coach Paul Phillip. You have teacher, secretary of the Grenada Athletics Association. I know. It's just a great support from these people towards the program.
And Rawl, how much you think such a program can do in terms of developing and harnessing, the talents of the young cricketers at hand?
Well, Michael, I maintain that sometimes we play cricket, we learn our craft, in some of the wonderful villages in Grenada, and, not many of them have a structured program. We have to be fair. I know Junior has an academy, Junior Murray has an academy. The Grenada Cricket Association has training, for the various national teams and so on. But other persons would have programs that they're doing for youngsters in Grenada. But to catch the talented cricketer at an early age is very, very important. And I think one program like what Duncan is running, it's so important that you can blend the talent with other life skills to, assist in the development much earlier, as opposed to waiting until you are selected to a national team or, one of the other bigger teams later on in your life to try to teach you certain things. So that's why when I look at the children out there, it's so interesting for me that some of the skills that they can learn in a program like this at such an early age is very important for their development. So any program that is run at that level, juniors academy, other persons who do lots of coaching in the various communities, this program, it's so important. That's why I want to be part of it and be more involved, because I believe we can develop some serious cricketers in Grenada.
Mm-hmm. And Ray, what so is taught during the program? It's sometimes that you have these training programs, cricket academies, and the kids their weekends after weekends, and probably the drills are the same. Do they get to play cricket? Do they get to show their skills, what they have learned? I know COVID would have restricted a lot in recent, but I mean, how satisfied are you with in terms of the development? How do you gauge all these factors to as a means of measuring the progress of the training program?
Michael, I was trying to search for the name Mr. Hippolyte. That's the guy who also
Kwame.
Kwame Hippolyte.
Right.
Yeah, but as to the program in itself, it's not a boring program. I can tell you that, because for kids to be coming week after week, I will get there. The program starts at 9:30, and by the time I get there at 8:30, kids already there, and just waiting for the time I approaching the playing field. They would be running towards the vehicle just to get the gear, to start operating, and so much so that they would help in the setup of the whole thing. So they are very much involved and interested and into the program. What I try to do in the program also is not just to focus only on cricket. From time to time I will bring in people from different areas. For example, the Royal Grenada Police Force, to have a conversation with them on good behavior and so on. I would also bring in somebody from the Food and Nutrition Council to come to speak to them about healthy lifestyles and so forth. I would also bring in somebody from the credit union to talk to them about savings, even at this early age. So it's not just cricket, but they can learn other things in life, and so that's what keep the program really going. And they know that, because it's something that is well established, that we have cricket practice every Saturday morning, rain, thunder, lightning. And they know that, and they will be there, because if we cannot really play and do any drills, there are other things that I would do with them, like the ways of dismissal, how many ways that a person could get dismissal. We do signs in cricket, we do quizzes and West Indies cricket and so forth, and those are the sort of things that we show them, videos and so on. So we keep them involved at all that. So they are always interested in coming every Saturday.
Okay. Let me just big up Cuz, great job. I know if my son had listened to my advice, he would have made it far, but he was more interested in following his friends to football. Opportunity missed. Comment coming from Deron Modeste. It seems as if someone is being scolded, for not listening to the father's advice and taking up football. And as and as you mentioned, Kwame is actually saying that it's a top program, best in Grenada and the Caribbean. Bigger and better things after May month. Is there something we need to know about based on what Kwame is saying, Ray?
Well, teacher Kwame, as I said, has always been working with us at the Trailblazers side, because we are working together. We usually see a sister program and so on. So we've been working together, and I know teacher Kwame and myself, we have plans to really get a similar program in football, because a lot of people might not know that, but I was also involved in football and football coaching as well, and we have a lot of youngsters there. But for now we're talking cricket, so teacher Kwame might have to brief me on that thing, Michael, if that's not what I'm thinking.
Rawl, the importance of and Ray mentioned that is not all just about playing cricket, but but it's also understanding the game and understanding things around the game itself. For example, as he said, and as we saw in one of the photos, the police officer, for example, and using resources that are available, food and nutrition personnel. You yourself, Rawl, appears that you have had an influence in terms of speaking or getting people to speak to the young cricketers over the years. How involved have you been, and what so have you been passing on, imparting to these youngsters when you do meet with them?
Well, the first thing I try to encourage them to do is to have good discipline within the program. I know Ray, he's a very, very astute coach. And, we being former national cricketers and also him being a coach at the national level, we understand what it is to come from within the communities and play to get to play international sports. So, what I try to tell them is not to throw too much information on them, but at their stage in their life, what I believe there's certain things that they should be aware of. And the last time I spoke to them, I told them about listening to their parents, because without the parents' involvement, we do not want a child to just leave and come to enter a cricket coaching facility without the parents knowing. So, coordinate well with your family, and then, we can help you here from the cricketing side, show you how to become more structured in your life as you go along. And also, you would need all these things, as if you ever become an international sports person, you would want to learn these things pretty early so you can grow up and develop quickly. So I talked to them about a lot of different things. Not too much about cricket, because we have an expert in Mr. Duncan. So, I try to focus on the other side, more of that, because I'm seeing it every day in this environment here, where we have lots and lots of talented cricketers all throughout the region, but we believe that stronger programs is needed sometimes off the field to really combine both to become a complete sports person.
And even giving them the opportunity to commingle with the West Indies players themselves, right?
Yes, I said to Duncan that, when we come to Grenada, this is something that I believe should happen, because when I was a youngster growing up in Union, if I had the opportunity to go to meet any present West Indian cricketers, I would probably walk from Union to the stadium to do that. So we should make that happen. And we put the pieces together, and it did happen. And I'm very happy that it happened. And Duncan, anytime we have matches in Grenada, it will happen again if COVID would allow us to do it.
It's something that the kids talk about every day, that the opportunity they had to interact with the players. and also the trip to Carriacou. This is something that they would never forget. But just to strengthen what Rawl said, about not allowing the kids to just come into the program without their parents' knowledge. Now, after you receive the names of all those who are interested in the program, a letter is sent to the parents, asking permission for them to join the program and so on. And then a form is also issued to them that with that they will supply different information, including health conditions and so on of the kids. So you know exactly how to deal with them, and you have information on them. And that's the sort of thing I do. Also, Dr. George Mitchell, who has been supporting the program and competitions and so on, is the program doctor. Should in case anything happen, he is the person that I could just call and he will be right there, or just tell me what to do, because that's the sort of things we are.
Okay. Well, we do have some short videos of what the kids have been doing over the program itself, and we'll have them in and between and come back and talk about them. So this one is basically the bowling aspect of it, Ray. I think Rawl was the bowler, you were the batsman / wicket keeper. So probably Rawl might be able to talk a little about what he saw there. I think the focus was on the bowling aspect of it this time.
Yeah, we were doing some spot bowling right there, but in doing that spot bowling, you also focus on the action, right? And if you really want to have a really critical look at the action, then you need to have, what this camera that you can take it from frame to frame. So what I usually do is just use my phone, and at certain time just stop it and see where they are and make like a correction. So so we were working on sport bowling, but / having a look at the action and making sure that the foot placement and everything is in line.
Do they get to review the youngsters themselves? Do they get to review those things?
Of course they do, because I would pull the person aside, or as a group we have a look at it, and we would have a real critical look at it, and let them know what they're doing, if it's the right thing, and if it's any way that they need to adjust and so forth. So they look forward to that as well. Yeah, we do.
Okay, let's get some more of those youngsters. certainly it appears a lot to do with their posture.
Of course, we were doing a basic stance there. How you stand up really to bat, because your stance, and we do grip, we do stance, we do backlift, and everything.
That was this morning, coach.
I beg your pardon?
That shot was taken today.
No, that was a long time ago.
Okay.
Some of these kids are now advanced. They are playing at a higher level and so on. But this is the stance that we were working on this. So I would look at the feet, if it's too close or it's too wide. Look at the chest, if it's facing the bowler, or if it's facing towards a sort of point, their kind of area there, and where the bat is placed in accordance with the feet, and the head position. If it's down in the shoulder, or if it's right over the shoulder, they're looking upright, and eyes, whether it's level or it's just slanting, and those sort of things. And you would show it to them and let them know where they need to improve, and we make the adjustment.
And Rawl, what I mean, at that age, how important do you think are these fundamentals to the development of these youngsters?
Well, while Coach was talking there, I was thinking, Coach, you probably should have come and done that in Union a couple, together with Gibson and others and Stevens, and really sharpen me up like that. I probably will still be on the field. Yeah, but this is important, Michael, because if these children could already play cricket naturally, you have the talent, you can pick the bat up and play. You can also hit the ball in most cases. But what you need now is to fine-tune your game. And, you have to be taught, some of the little areas that you have to improve that would allow you to improve on your game and to play at different levels, because at the different levels of cricket, you require to be a lot more technical. You need to understand the game a bit more, understand what the ball does when you grip it a certain way, when you position your wrist a certain way when you're bowling. Also, when you're batting, what type of shots to play to what type of delivery. So all the little technicalities that coach is doing is very, very important at that age, so that they can continue their development much earlier. So you see better performances at an early age. Like people love to say that, the under-19 guys in India or Pakistan or these places make big hundreds and double hundreds, triple hundreds. Their development have been, much earlier. So they learn a lot of different things that is required at that age much earlier. So that's what a program like that can do, which is very, very good for our players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the progression to get to the skill too is a lot of work that we would go through to get to the end of that skill. The progressions that we'll go through, it's at the end of it, when you see the kids, you feel satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get some comments here. Big up Mr. Duncan. He's very dedicated and passionate about developing the young ones through cricket. Long may you continue. And that's Radix. Yeah. That's a FIFA referee, right? Surprisingly, football referee is singing praises. And Camillus is saying great stuff. Camillus Alexander, former leg spinner, and I think a protege of Rawl Lewis himself. And Lincoln Toro Deputy is saying the young cricketers are looking good. Rawl should try and get Cricket West Indies to offer them contract now, before they migrate and end up playing for England, Canada, and the US. Toro never surprises me. Always. Hey, Toro. Good afternoon to you, Toro. I know you have Rawl and Ray cracking here, but let's get some more of those youngsters. So that's I think that is Ray. That's actually associated with some years ago or recent.
This is quite recent.
Quite recent. Okay.
Yeah, this is quite recent.
Okay.
Wow.
Right.
The first thing that struck me with this is it looks well coordinated.
Yeah. Okay.
These are guys who would have gone through all the basic stuff. They from grip, stance, backlift, forward defense, push drive, backward defense, backward punch, and we're now working on the cut shot and a pull shot and so forth. So they are more advanced.
All right. Well, let's see again.
These are the bigger ones.
So you have various age groups.
Yeah. 3-4 different groups of guys working.
Wow. Ray, so the question now is that why? I mean, that's my question. Why it took so long? I mean, to be honest with you, it's only when Rawl alerted me that there's something happening that people should know about, you know. And I'm asking you this question. Why it took so long for you to, come out and let people know what is happening, let people know, all along, because we have seen some of the guys move on, okay? And as you indicated, whether it's a Fletcher, Nealon Pascal, others, and some might have gone on the wayside because injury, some would have migrated and things like that. So, but in terms of the fundamentals, in terms of understanding the game, why it took so long? I mean, I'm still trying to find out, Ray, why it is that we didn't know about that, and is there any way that apart from what Rawl is doing, providing support all around, whether it's moral, whether it's, I don't want to say financial because people may feel Rawl is a millionaire, but whatever support that Rawl can give and others, how can folks reach out to assist any way possible, or even if parents have an interest, as for example, the parent who indicated earlier in the program that, they had advised their son, about getting involved, and somehow he decided to take another sport. How can they get involved? How can they assist? Why did you take so long, Ray, to come forward to talk about such an important, which I believe, and I stress in, a very important and critical program in terms of the development of cricket?
Well, Mike, having represented Grenada at various levels and returning to be a coach at also various levels, and I don't think a lot of people maybe know that, but I have been the coach of the Windward Islands under 19 for well about 10 years, and also the Windward Islands, Southern Windward Islands cricket team that included Rawl, Darren Sammy, Junior Murray, and John Eugene, Phoenix Thomas, and these guys, and they have helped along the way, to take me where I am now, as well as I did a couple courses with the Western East Cricket Board, level 1 and level 2 courses with the Western East Cricket Board. I've attended workshops with Otis Gibson and Theo Coffey and William Bone and so on. Also Ronald Rogers, who is currently the trainer of the West Indies cricket. So I've learned a lot along the way, and it helped me and increased my passion for the sport. And I think having that maybe wealth of knowledge there and in the cricket, I saw it fit to just give it back, not just hold it to myself, but give it back. But I'm the sort of person who does my thing without no big set of fanfare and and brag and boast about everything. But I've been doing my thing quietly in Los Angeles for a number of years. The parents know all through the schools; they are aware of it, and some of the kids can't even wait to join the program. I have had parents asking me at what age the kids can join. Presently, we have kids from as age 6 in the program today up to 17. And what I've noticed is that guys who would have gone through the program and are now 20, 23, and 24, they are coming back into the program. So the whole thing about keeping it silent, just a part of me, Michael. It's just a part of me.
All right. Well, before Rawl chime in, some comments. Vida Bruno-Victor is saying, my two boys, that's referring to Ray and Rawl. Raymond is perhaps one of the best coaches that I work with in the ministry. His devotion to the sport of cricket and his love for the young people, especially his cricketers. He's also a very good track and field coach. And most of all, as some disciplinarian, he loves neatness and is a sticker for being on time. Boy, I would always remember his work in the ministry. Some kudos from your former boss in the Ministry of Sports. Right.
Very good lady. Very good lady.
Yeah. And Rawl, as Vida said, one of my two boys, the R&R, Ray and Rawl.
Miss B.
Yeah.
I
always remember Miss B.
I'm glad to see you listening, so I will call you after this program. Yeah, so Michael, honestly, the way how Ray operates, and I believe I learn a lot from him as well. I take the same approach because when you do something, especially for children, you want to make sure that whoever is on the receiving end of it are comfortable with what you do. And once they're happy and, you'd have satisfied yourself that you would have contributed, that's where it stops. I don't think there's a need to really, expose it to everyone in a sense, especially when you do something for children. So I think that's the reason why, he never really came forward. We're just happy to see that the program is going and, the kids are developing and making progress. A lot need to be done still, but, it's how it is, and we will continue to push hard. There's a lot of work to do still, and it's going well. Very pleasant.
I agree in terms of a lot of work to be done, but it's quite, encouraging because Ray has this, and as you indicated, there's also Junior with his academy, and I think Devon is also planning something in the northern parish of St. Patrick. So it's all as well in terms of the development of the sport. Let's see if we can get some more of those cricket videos. Ray, I guess as much the youngster learning some of the basic in terms of, as you said, the pull shots.
Yeah, but he's cut in there. He's more or less attempting to play the cut shot. So then you look at the back foot position. You look at the wrist. If they rolling the wrist and getting on top of the ball, rolling the wrist to keep it down and so on. Right, that look nice. Very nice. Tom, where the head's supposed to be? Tom looking down at the stick on the bat. Right. Great. Very good. Right. Now.
Nice. Cover. Nice. That's it. Well done. Ball. Well done.
Ray, what's the interest among the youngsters, especially the young girls? Because in the latter videos we saw girls involved in it. What's the interest level from the girls?
At the primary school, it's very high because you get all the kids coming out. But the fact that we don't have any program for female cricketers on the island, I would say, after leaving primary school and into secondary school, they don't really follow it up on cricket. But I think it's something that we need to work on. I'm not sure from which end, but I know the ministry has tried in involving women into the game of cricket. But I think the parent body needs to get involved as well and to help. But the interest is very high at the primary school level.
And Rawl, programs like these, how important it is for the development of the sport? Because yeah, we have Ray over in St. David, and kids are coming from wherever, you know. Junior is in, you know, in the capital. Devon is hoping to start something in, say, St. Patrick. How important you see these cricket program, development programs, initiatives, academies for in terms of the development of sport for cricket?
It's very good. You can get to measure your success by playing competitions amongst the different academies. If you could think about that, if you have, you know, many groups of persons in the different parishes in programs like this, I mean, the rate of development will be great, and you have more cricketers to choose from. Once they continue on to become senior cricketers, you could see your parish competition getting stronger, your school competition getting stronger. Anytime you are ready to select your national teams, you would have more people to select. And, you know, it's just so important to have people playing cricket. So having a program like this in every parish would be, you know, it's so important so that you can get the youngsters involved as early as possible. Because I know in the early times, like in my time, you would have lots of cricketers coming from St. Andrews. I think St. Andrews competition were the strongest competition on the island. So you would get the majority of national teams coming from St. Andrews. So now if you have programs in the different parishes, then you'd have, you know, more cricket played on the island. So the next thing I have to say about the importance of this program is because cricket is a sport where you need to actually have good facilities to play. Sometimes you find the program takes a longer time to develop where the facilities are not available. You know, Ray has La Sagesse, Junior has Canteen. I think Devon would use Four or what's the next ground in St. Patrick's name? So he has 2 grounds up there to use. But to get them to be prepared to that level is also very important. So I think it have to be a collaborative effort between the facilities managers and also the cricket coaches with the parents and the leaders in the community to all come together and build a program like this. So this is the way that I'm thinking about it. I really like what Ray is doing and what Junior is doing and what Devon plan to do and whatever program the ministry has in place and so on, and the Grenada Cricket Association. But the coordination to get everything working smooth, because cricket is a sport that needs collective effort. That's where I think we need to tighten it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I fully agree with that. And I think one person who will agree with that as well is Vida is saying, Rawl, he has grown leaps and bounds, and I am proud of his work. I noticed, though, that he is getting gray. So I hope he is not getting tired, and I'm waiting on the call, Rawl. So as soon as you get off the program, remember you have duty bound.
I will call, and it's great. It's good gray, Mr.
Yeah. Hope it's
Michael,
not.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I think it's a good point that Rawl made in having the programs. It keeps players active in the game of cricket year round, and that was proven this morning when I got a call from one of the guys who train with me. He's now playing with the senior team in the T20 tournament that is going on the island now, and asked me to inform the boys that under 19 parish cricket starts on Wednesday. And it's the first time that they are hearing that. I'm not too sure that the team is together and you're playing on Wednesday. They might be in a good position because they were attending the program and practicing for months now. But what about the other parishes that doesn't have a program like this and have to prepare for an important tournament like this to select a national team in just a couple of days? They are at a big disadvantage, and I'm not too sure that the performance level would be what one would expect.
That's why it is important to have these programs, and as Rawl was indicating, the importance of such developmental programs, and with Devon coming on stream with his own, Junior Murray already in existence, and yourself, it augurs well and will supplement, and as we talk about that, I think the NLA T20 semi-final game, St. David playing St. Andrew in semi-final game number 1. It should be on or completed by now at the stadium. It's called an East Coast Affair semi-final. St. David versus St. Andrew. That's in the NLA GPL T20 semi-final game 1 at the National Stadium. The good thing about that is that these games are actually streamed live, like West Indies Cricket Rawl. We're seeing more and more cricket being available for fans, whether it's locally or regionally or even internationally when it comes to regional cricket, and so too is local cricket. And you think this is going in the right direction in terms of the sport when you think about how much of a challenge is cricket when you compare to probably football. When it comes to European football, for example, you can turn on the TV probably any day of the week and come across, European football live on TV, whether it's English Premier League, whether it's, the Europe Cup, whatever it is, Champions League. And when it comes to cricket, sometimes it's very difficult at times. But of recent, we have been seeing lots of cricket available locally in terms of Grenada. Most of the games are now streamed live, if not all. And even West Indies cricket, the ongoing series against Sri Lanka, whether it's YouTube, whether it's on radio, and whether you're in North America whether in South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, cricket is available. It's something in the right direction, Ron.
Most definitely, because of the pandemic, most persons are, confined to their homes. So if you get the sport online, that's the only way you'll be able to see it. So that's one of the benefit of having the COVID pandemic when it comes to sport. I realized that when we toured the UK, where fans were not allowed to come into the stadium for the first time, and the viewership for that series was really high. So, and we've noticed that for the other series as well. So you could sit in your bedroom and get to see all the different sports online. So, the associations have been doing a very good job. And I spoke to President Dwayne Gill this morning, and I told him I follow the NLA T20 tournament, not ball by ball, but I know when it's playing. I look at different players. I saw, some of the batsmen looking very good. So cricket in Grenada, I think the associations and all involved have really tried to get the game out there, which is a very good thing. So to make cricket available to the youngsters, most of them are always on their devices. So that's where you have to place it so they can learn and, get involved and know what's happening in the world of cricket, because you can't really go to the stadium.
Certainly. And it's what is really happening in terms of cricket all over, and not just Grenada. I noticed that even in St. Vincent, the Premier League is also available. The Vinci League is available. St. Lucia has a tournament that is also available, and it brings something new to the sport, in terms of fans, in terms of following. Even though at times people are critical of the senior team, the West Indies team, in terms of performance, the fact is you can gauge the the fan support, through social media, through whatever is available, especially Facebook these days. There's so many channels available where people voice their opinions, and you really realize that West Indies still have cricket in the West Indies, I should say, not just West Indies, but cricket in the West Indies still has a very large and passionate following among fans, and there are even the Indians and the Pakistanis and others who, when they are not playing in terms of their national team, they throw support behind the West Indies. And I'm certain that probably in the next hour, Rawl may be able to chime in a bit or two on, on those things. We mentioned it at the end of the Bangladesh tour, and I think when the president of CWI was on the program a week ago, he lauded the fact that the West Indies brand, adding to what Rawl was saying in terms of the West Indies brand, still sought after, and we have seen that it's one that is most fans are really looking forward to, despite their qualms with the West Indies. They're still looking forward to getting their clothing supplies from Team West Indies. Rawl, Ray, back to you in terms of what has been happening in that program there. Keep flying the cricket flag, Rawl and Ray. Congrats to you both. Elan Robinson, also a diehard cricket fan, I must say. Jason Skeet is saying, what are some of the plans at the West Indies level and the local and regional level to place significant emphasis on raising the bar to get into the regional side? I ask the question because most people have been saying for years that making the regional side has become relatively easy. Well, Ray, that may be a question that you may want to answer in terms of your initiative or the initiatives of persons like you, Junior Murray, Devon Smith and others, and Rawl Lewis to an extent, even though he's not in Grenada, but he's providing support wherever he can what are some of the plans in terms of, let me go over Jason Skeet's question again. What are some of the plans at the West Indies level and the local and regional level to place significant emphasis on raising the bar to get into the regional side? I think that is the fundamental question he's raising. What plans, what emphasis is being placed to ensure that these youngsters not just learn the fundamentals of the sport, but at some point being able to get into the regional side, right?
Well, I think we are doing our part. I think we need to play much more cricket. I'm not sure that we are playing sufficient cricket. And by not playing sufficient cricket, I don't think that the standard of the cricket is what we would like it to be. I don't think it is as competitive as we would like. So we need to have them playing much more and competitive cricket. Also, I can't see why we are playing let's say like inter-parish cricket and at sometimes regional cricket without any form of incentive. I think we need to have some form of incentive that would, encourage performance. So I think these are 3 areas that we can look at if we are going to have our players at performing at a higher level. That's my take on it.
Okay. Rawl, you want to add something to that?
Most definitely. I feel the financial aspect is a big part, because if you have a lot of funds available to you for development, to play the actual game, you can really pump money into these areas and have some solid programs running. I'm not too sure how financially strong we are. If you go back to the days when Stanford were part of West Indies cricket, every territory would receive a certain amount of funds at the end of the month for development, and it was going, in good places. But now it's a bit challenging to really fund a lot of the programs and so on. So I feel this is the first issue right there for the development of cricket, because cricket is not a sport where you can just go out and play in the road anywhere. You have to prepare the grounds. You have to pay, the staff members to maintain the ground, get equipment for the facility, covers, lawnmowers, and even cricket equipment for people. So it will take a big effort. And what Duncan is doing is preparing the players at that level. Someone or some other body can provide the facilities, like the ministry does provide the facilities to keep the program going. So like I said before, the coordinated effort is what's needed, but from where I sit, I believe the financial aspect plays a big role in not having everything you need at a certain level to produce the top class cricketer from an early stage.
Yeah. Right, we're here now. Okay, so folks, the cricket is actually being played. Let me see what it is that is going on there. What it is. Right. It's a semi-final to St. Patrick playing seems to be St. George. Yeah. And St. Patrick apparently is bowling, right? And St. George is batting 26 for 1. That is what I'm seeing on the monitor there, 26 for 1. And that's from the live from the stadium, live from the National Stadium. St. George, Joan Jeremiah, he's on 18 not out, and Cyprian Forsyth, he is at the wicket, not out on not. 26 for 1. Yeah. So that's the semi-final number 2. Right. Let's return to the discussion because some more comments coming in. Toro is saying that's Lincoln Deputy in West Indies. To cricket, what Brazil are to football, fans have a sentimental soft spot for them for their contribution to sports in the past. Will the fans pick them to win a tournament today? That's another question. Leslie McQueen, the old Leslie McQueen, former cricketer himself. Well, want to be a cricketer. Ray Duncan, as I say others. Good to see you. Hard-hitting number 2 batsman for St. David, following Carl Felix and your humble servant. He must include himself. Those were our glory days for cricket in the Virgin Parish of St. David. And former Sports Minister Adrian Spaceman Mitchell is saying, just want to say thank you, Ray, for giving us Fletcher. Keep up your great work. Indeed. So some kudos from the folks at hand, including Spaceman Mitchell and Leslie McQueen, who is indicating that he played some cricket for St. David. Any remembrance of memory of that, Ray Duncan?
Yeah, quite vivid memory of McQueen, Hoopman bats for St. David's. was not among the heavy scorers, but he played his part. Played his part well.
Yeah,
hello, McQueen.
I just kidding with Leslie, man. I know Leslie.
Not among the heavy scorers.
Yeah, Leslie was one who followed cricket religiously back in those days, and I still think he follows cricket to the T, no doubt. But Rawl, important enough is that questions coming up about and you as West Indies team manager, no doubt is in the best position to answer some of these things where people are getting involved. And I'm speaking about the past players in particular, and I'm glad to see that at home and in Grenada, Ray Duncan, Junior Murray, Devon Smith are all involved. And certainly if you are home, you yourself will be directly involved, though, as you indicated, anytime you visit Grenada, one of the first things you do is visit that, the cricket training program, But the point I'm making, and I want you to respond to it after I play this, is that in a previous interview, you mentioned the fact of the involvement of the legends, the involvement, and in this case, I use in the West Indies scenario, the legends' involvement in West Indies cricket in the Grenada context, the past players' involvement in the development of West Indies cricket. Let's hear it, and then you'll come back and comment.
When you play cricket, you already understand that you're playing a game that is viewed by many. You're out in the open. All your brilliance, all your failures, everything would be exposed to everyone. So the comments of individuals, you don't have control over what people say regarding your performances. So as a sports person, you already understand that, you're going to get criticized when you don't perform. You're going to get praised when you do perform. And I strongly believe, from looking at what happened in the 2016 World Cup when we won, the way that Caribbean people celebrated, it only tells me that Caribbean people would like for West Indies cricket to win. You understand? So I think sometimes you don't have enough patience.
And probably always winning too, And probably always winning.
Well, you'll never be always winning. I mean, if I was a fan of cricket, I would like for us to always win. But I'm saying that we've been losing for quite some time, and whenever we win, we see how people celebrate. Yeah. I don't know the number of players who go online and check the comments and so on. I check them to get an understanding as to how Caribbean people feel about us. But from what I read, I know that people would like us to win, and I don't blame them for liking us to win. But it will take a while for us to get back to what we expect. For winning 15 years consecutively before. These group of young men, would really have to fine-tune their skills over a period of time to get back to that, because everyone is now, up in their game. So we are up in our game as well, but it will take a little bit of time. So I don't mind people criticize, because I believe they only want us to win, and they love when West Indies win.
I think it's extended a bit. I know I mentioned about the legends and thing, but it had to do a lot too with the whole idea of winning, of following the cricket, following the sport, and the question came to the point where I think it had to do with the sort of support West Indies as a team get from the fans. And you admitted that you're one who, follow the comments, you read them, sometimes I assume you probably laugh at them, obviously quite a few are jovial to the extent, but you gauge the passion of West Indies fans to cricket. That was following the Bangladesh series. We did that interview right after the Bangladesh series. Since then, Rawl, so much has happened. West Indies went on to win the series against, the shorter version against Sri Lanka, and now into the Test series, albeit the first one drawn, the second one is winners take all, I should say, because it's a two-match series. What has changed since then, Rawl, from then to now?
We are trying to create a winning culture, and the only way you can do that is if you start by winning on the field of play. The players have a huge role to play in that, and so we are off the field playing our part. We traveled to England with a big squad, almost 25 players, I believe, and also to New Zealand. So people like Kyle Mayers and Kumar Bonner were part of the reserves in England. They did not play a single match. They practice every time with the team. They've been part of every session. They had their gym programs. They had their fitness programs from the trainer and so on. So we move on to the next enlarged squad again. So you find more people are being exposed to that level of intense training at the international standard where we are here. So these guys are better prepared. They are now fully ready. When they receive the cap to play, they would have trained for a long time at a very high level. So that's why I believe is one of the reasons why we see some performances from people like Joshua De Silva and, Bonner and so on so quickly at that level, because now they are part of it for quite a long while before they play. So that is one of the reasons. And I believe that, to strengthen the point that I made before on Caribbean people, and I said to someone 5 days ago that if you complain to me about something that is not right in West Indies cricket, and you are of a certain position, you can come and make your contribution, and with this collective effort, with me and you, we would help to develop the cricket. It could be something very, very simple, but that's another box that we would have ticked in the development of West Indies cricket. So the Caribbean people, we depend on their support, and we've been getting it. And when we travel, we are known as everyone's second favorite team, because everybody likes West Indies team. When we win, everyone enjoys us. So it's just a stage of our cricket where, we are beginning to see some victories on the field, and we cannot get complacent. If the field of play is going to lift to a certain standard and beat certain international teams, everything have to lift to meet the level of the field of play, so that together we could kind of maintain our performances to start climbing the rankings at the ICC rankings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some comments here now. Mr. Shelley and Duncan, Michael Vincent say hello. Nice program, bro. Oh, and Leslie, Ray is being real kind to you, comrade. He says you are not among the heavy scorers. I wonder what he means by that. And good to see you, my brother. That's Michael Vincent, also known as Pooks. He's saying hello to you, Ray Duncan. I know Leslie might come back to clarify what Ray means by not among the heavy scorers, according to Toro. But Rawl, if we can just stick on that point, because it's an important point you made in terms of West Indies, and I think about West Indies fans in terms of a winning. Everyone wants their team to win. That's a fact, you know. And when they don't win, there's always reasons as to why this and this and this should happen. In fact, it's surprising that even in a drawn game, reading some of the comments, one fan was saying, well, if they had gone with such and such player, I believe we could have chased 375 runs on the final day, you know, albeit that's after the fact, you know. And I'm saying that to say there's always some comment. And I think as manager of the team, sometimes, and you know, you can bear fact to that, you read those things, and to you, while some may be hilarious, I am certain that some you take it seriously, and to another extent, you sort of gauge, as I still indicating, you gauge the passion of West Indies cricket fans to the West Indies team, and it's an important factor you as team manager you have to understand as well. How much you think does what the fans say or what the fans express affect your thinking, your feedback with the team or team management, etc.? How much do you gauge from that, and how much do you relate to them in terms of what the fans are saying and how the fans are reacting?
I think everyone have their opinion based on what you know. You might express yourself based on a situation and as much as you know. So I wouldn't blame anyone for making such comments, because they only speak from the knowledge that they have. Within the West Indies cricket team, we try to create that culture where everyone is involved. We have a bubble. We live in a bubble here at the hotel. And, you know, we try to control that area. You know, to certain things we wouldn't want a player to be telling another player certain things that you would read online. Now, if that happens within the team, then we will have to, you know, deal with that situation. But people are expected to express themselves, and we understand Caribbean people and what they want from West Indies cricket, because it means a lot to the Caribbean. So I judge it by just reading a few comments online, just to get a better idea as to how people feel about the unit and, you know, the direction that we are trying to take the team, because we, you know, everyone have to play their part. It doesn't trouble me, like I said before. You know, if someone were to make a positive comment on my area, I will read it, I would think about it. You know, if it makes sense to me to make any changes to what I do, I probably would do it if it's going to turn out to be positive. Now, if I read something and it's not going to make any sense for me to change it based on my role, then I wouldn't change it to please the individual who would have made that comment. You know, so when I was much younger, I never had that level of thinking in those situations. But now I think I'm 46 years old. I fully understand, you know, the dynamics of the way people think in sports, and because at the end of the day, it's victories you're looking for. And, you know, that's why I believe we still have the support out there. But if you see a negative comment, that individual only would like for West Indies to really win. Or if we were in a position to win, they would have wished that we would have pulled up that victory.
Yeah. So let's head back to Grenada, some local comments and talks now. Leslie McQueen, as expected, will come back. We'll take that, Toro. Maybe his recollection is not as vivid as others. Maybe all of that could have been because of the tough competition his Vincent's team had with the more dynamic Pedmotor squad. But it was all great rivalry, and we keep the community entertained on Saturdays and Sundays. They were fun times indeed. And Michael Pop Vincent is saying, Leslie still suffering from the beaten Vincents, always put on Windsor Forest and our Pedmotor teams that he played for. So it seems as if quite a lot was happening there. Ray, let them know who was the local Bruce Yardley. And Torres saying, Leslie, I feel Ray forget the couple centuries and double centuries you made. Don't hold it against him. So there's quite a lot of bantering in terms of local cricket, Ray. Then we have some comments, some serious comments coming from Jason Skeet and others. Let's get into some of those, that local rivalry, especially in St. David's cricket. Well, Rawl was a Union St. Andrew guy, so his rivalry may have been different to yours in St. David. What it was like, Ray, in terms of cricket in the parish back then?
It was highly competitive cricket, and the community was involved. When these two teams clash at Windsor Forest, there is hundreds of people that would show up on that given day to look at that game. And everyone wanted to do their best and outdo the other. So it was a keen rivalry, yes, but at the same time it was played in good spirit. But on most occasions, Vincent would get the better of Pedmotor, and McQueen would accept that's a fact.
But you still hoping that those days return where cricket was such that the folks will come out on a weekend to see cricket in the village, whether it's Vincent's against Pedmotor, Malmont, whatever it is, and I'm just saying it because I recall back then I was reporting on, those cricket matches and things like that. So you hoping that those days will return sometime when St. David, to some extent, was the mecca of cricket to an extent. Even that's probably before St. Andrew, started leading in terms of, the various leagues in the St. Andrew tournaments, But somehow it was well respected that St. David had probably one of the best leagues on the island. How much you think that, we'll be able to return to those days where cricket is played at the village level and people can really enjoy coming out and supporting and watching cricket?
I would like for it to come back, Michael, because these fields are now non-existent because they're not existing anymore. The riverbank, the Windsor Forest Foley, the Bushy Park, the Barrett, the Mount Erie, all these little fields, Wester Hall, all these little fields, community fields were part of the cricket setup. You're talking about in St. David's, some 17 teams participating in a tournament that would last for almost 6 months. That tournament used to start about the second week in January and go all up to June. Cricket right through, and you're talking about spectators at every ground. I'm not sure. I would love to see that coming back, but something has to be done about the amount of softball cricket that is now played. I think the interest has moved from the hard ball, leather ball, as we would see, to the softball, wind ball cricket. And there are a number of factors responsible for that. I think is the glamour of it. I mean, the incentive that it provides, you know, the sort of kind of festive kind of thing that goes along with it. You know, I think that is that we would have to address that if for us to get that cricket coming back.
Okay. Let me take some comments on that aspect of it, because Perks is saying, Michael Perks, Vincent is saying, St. David also owe a lot to Stanley Roberts and Ulala. I think those were people who were involved in cricket in the parish for quite a while. Lincoln is saying, I have a partner, Thomas Pierre. He always boasting that he was a big-time cricketer in St. David. He used to work with Bryden and Miners. And Perks is saying, Leslie has no choice but to accept that fact. Okay. I guess that's what they're still bantering over the whole fact of what has been happening. But Jason Skeet was saying, and I think it's in reaction to Rawl's earlier comment, he says that over the years, we have seen players with immense, I assume, talents. Let me make sure that is what he left out. Yeah, immense talent being dropped because of a few bad days. How are we dealing now with ensuring the folks with talent who may have failed because of bad days be harnessed, nurtured, and sent back out to battle and not dropped? Talent is endless in the region if these talents are maximized, or garbage team we will have. Rawl?
Yeah, well, just reading that comment, I believe he was referring to, persons who would have been selected and been dropped and probably have not gone back to an academy style environment to develop the game to get selected again. So Cricket West Indies has now purchased the CCG ground in Antigua, and I'm hoping, everyone is hoping that finances and so on would be available to actually have a place where you can go if you have been selected before from regional cricket and you did not hit it off immediately at the international level, that you can go there, work on your game, and go back into the system and get selected again. So I believe that's what he's referring to. And I mean, I would love to see something like that as well. But for now, each territory, each region has their franchise system with their head coaches and their franchise teams based in that island where they do their practice. So at the West Indies level, there is not like a West Indies academy like it used to have in Barbados or in Grenada at one point. So I believe it will be a good thing for Caribbean cricket if you have the talent and you're good enough with the talent only to get to the highest level. Then we could bring you in there to fine tune your game to so you can perform at your best.
And then there's another comment here from Kellen Antoine. Ray has been a pillar of cricket development in Grenada. His passion for the game, his devotion to coach, and his positive attitude is second to none. Knowing him personally, he deserves all the credit. Rawl's passion for the game, his dedication, and his never quit attitude, despite challenges, is responsible for his great success. From humble beginning and dedication, success is bound to be the end result. Long live Cricket Grenada, and long live our men in maroon. Windies, Kellon and Twine. I guess some kudos there. Let me see.
Mike, if I could just make a point on something that comes to mind. if you don't know something, you sometimes would not get involved. I think my role, and I dream of that all the time. When I'm finished with what I'm doing up here, I would like to go back into the communities and pass my knowledge onto them, because after playing for the national team for a long time, playing cricket for 18 years in the region, becoming a cricket administrator, I think I need to tell somebody about that journey from the time of bowling leg breaks in Union and getting out on the international stage because of that talent, and now being in a position where I'm involved with the highest level of cricket. I mean, that's a journey that I would like to share, because there are more people out there in the villages who can take that same journey. They don't have to become the team manager, but there are many other areas. But do they know of the areas? So this is why I say the program that Ray is doing and other programs, we need to just keep educating people so that they can become something. If it doesn't turn out to be a player, you can be an umpire, you can be a project officer, you can be in the operation team, in the events team. So we need to just get the message out there for the people who are interested to make to get to their respective goals in the sport. And that's what I would love to do, and continue the program with Ray, and help in anywhere with Junior Morris program, Grenada Cricket Association programs, any program, anything to do with cricket. I'm willing to come back anytime soon to help with that.
Okay. And Rawl, talking about your journey as a former cricketer to now a cricket administrator, and knowing that the CWI is holding its annual general meeting on Sunday to elect whether it's the incumbent, Skerrett and Shallow, or whether the challenger, Sanasi or Hope. Rawl, do you see yourself probably in the very near future, or the near future, pardon my very, making a bid to be in the helm of West Indies cricket? Is that part of Rawl's mission?
That's the second time I've had this question. No, you see, Mike, cricket is what I love. And if you had asked me 15 years ago if I will be living in Antigua and become manager of the West Indies cricket team, I probably would ask you what you're drinking. So you never know what is out there for you. But because I've already gotten that far over the period of time, I will continue to work, get as much knowledge as I can, and, continue to give back to the sport. And if it so happens that this comes up, and it's available to me, then, I would have to take it, because I love cricket. But I'm not going to sit here. I'm not preparing myself to do that, but I'm continuing to do the work that I'm doing. And if it comes, I will go at it wholeheartedly.
Thanks for the answer, and I was pleased to get from you that you did not say no. That is what I wanted to hear, that you didn't say no. And once you didn't say no, I think it's relatively easy.
Well, I would, before something like that happened, you know what would happen, Mike? I'll be calling Duncan.
Okay, that's...
Yeah, you will have to give me some guidance on that, like he has been doing. And I'll tell you who I'll call: Anthony Dixon, Steve Mahon, Dominic Lewis, Ray Duncan, my mom for sure, and everybody involved in my development, Vida, Bruno, everybody that I could think about, because and there are many others who would have assisted me. I've never mentioned Mr. Harbin, publicly like this, but I don't know, Tyrone Harbin is one person that I have not seen for a long time, and I would really, really like to see him. The next time I'm home, I'm going to see him for sure. and also Mr. St. John, who I see all the time. Walter St. John is a big, supporter of myself, and I appreciate everything that everyone has done. But being at the helm of West Indies cricket, it takes a lot, and I only will continue to do what I'm doing here, and hopefully, I can continue to give back to the sport for as long as possible.
Well, you mentioned Ray, and Ray is on camera now, so Ray probably might say what he has to say. If you were asked, what would be the verdict?
Bro, you certainly have my support.
Yeah.
I will be right there with you.
Okay.
All the encouragement, that you need to get there, I will give it to you, because I know the sort of person that Rawl is. Rawl has a big heart, and he's somebody who if he has a goal, he will go after it, wholeheartedly, give it his all. So I'm quite sure if it comes and he accepts the challenge, that he would make good use of it and do us proud, and the region on a whole, I'm proud. You have my support, Rob.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm certain that Vida might put her support as well in the next few minutes. But Rawl, there are a couple questions for you, some comments and some questions. One is a bit, what should I say? Let me get that particular one for you. I know Kellon is really looking for some trouble there, but Kellon Antoine is saying, what is the final verdict about Camillus Alexander being a bigger spinner of the ball than Rawl Lewis? I want your opinion.
You want my opinion? Okay, no problem. I think he could bowl a bigger leg break than me, but maybe a bit more loose deliveries than me. Camillus, I hope you're not upset, but Camillus probably bowled one of the biggest leg breaks that I've seen, but he was just maybe a little bit, if he was a little bit more consistent. So Kellon, Camillus have won. Maybe you can ask Duncan. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Well,
Where would be a good man to answer this?
No. As coach of both of those guys, they have served the country well in that area, and have won a number of tournaments for us as a spin twin. And Rawl is correct in saying that Kami would turn the ball much more than he, because I kept to Rawl as a national wicketkeeper, and I also kept to Kami as well in training and so on. But Rawl is correct that he had a little bit more consistency than Kami. They were both good spinners.
I wouldn't dodge that question at all. So, Camillus, you win.
Another question, Rawl, how do you see the prospects for the local talent pool that currently exists? I am personally worried about how West Indies is preparing to regain world dominance in the sport.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are never short of talent in the Caribbean, but as I said earlier, I believe the financial aspect is what would stop us from having the highest quality facilities and so on for players to really prepare and train to become, great international cricketers. So from that angle, I could understand why the question was phrased that way, because the talent is there, but to invest and have all that is needed facility-wise, because I keep stressing on facility, because if you have the talent and you have mega sports stadium in each parish, then you would find people going out there and they can play as much as they want, they can prepare because everything is in front of you. But it's a little bit of a worry that if you're from a certain place and you don't have the facilities to use, that talent could quickly fade away. So from that angle, I think if we get the facilities in place and we have the talented players, then our cricket will get back to the top of world cricket quickly. And we see now that we have more cricketers to choose from in West Indies team because we've been traveling with enlarged squads that you get to expose more people at that level. So now you find players that, you know, who the public or anyone could feel, well, hey, he must be in the team. Then you find other guys, once given the level of training, have been selected ahead of such players. So, you know, we need to improve our facilities throughout the region to a high standard.
All right. Question for Rawl. As manager of the West Indies senior team, do you have any say in the selection of players in the final 11, as well as who should be captain, or is it up to the selection panel only?
No, I don't have any final say because we have the head coach, we have the chairman of selectors here together with the captain. They select the playing 11. The selectors select the touring party. So as the team operations manager, my responsibility, this is not part of my responsibility. I mean, we will always have, you know, informal conversations, one-on-one conversations and so on with, you know, different persons, whether it be the captain, vice captain, senior players, even coaches and so on. But at the end of the day, the selection process, it rests solely on these three people when we're on tour.
And in case you missed it, Kellon, when Rawl was on the program some time ago, that whole question regarding captaincy was asked to Rawl. And I thought Rawl gave what has been considered since then a very intelligent response. And that fighting spirit that has become so prevalent in that series in Bangladesh, do you think, Rawl, it could be a sort of reflection on the leadership style? We may get a little political here, but a sort of reflection of the leadership style, Brathwaite versus Holder?
Brathwaite versus Holder, they are totally two different individuals. Now, Jason Holder is a guy, if you come into the changing room, he might say something to you. He would ask a question. He would give a joke. He would, you know, he's a jovial character. Craig Brathwaite, you probably wouldn't see where he's sitting because he would just be sitting there, probably have his headphone. So the character of the individuals are totally different. Now, if Jason had told Bangladesh and won that series, maybe the reviews and the comments would be same. But I understand the fans, you know, making the comments and the comparison. But Jason and Craig are two totally different individuals, and the selectors have the job now to sit down and decide who they would like to lead the team. I'm so happy I'm not in that position.
That was then. That was then a few weeks ago, you know, and that was prior to the actual selection of the. So, Kellon, I think that would have answered to some extent the question that you posed to Rawl regarding the whole idea of selection, and had to do with, I think, if correct, you also asked about, the captain, as well as who should be captain, or is it up to the selection panel? I thought Rawl answered it, even though he laughed a bit, but I thought it was a serious one. Rawl, your journey is a testimony. It takes the toughness and willingness to be better to get to where you have ended up. Many have failed and blamed the world and not looked for the opportunities to move ahead. I remember a test series where someone bowled with no wicket for almost 100 runs, but he came back. And I applaud you for your Mamba mentality, even before you knew what Mamba mentality was. I feel proud to know you and honored to say you have done your country and region well. From Jason Skeet. Thank you, Jason.
Can I just respond to that for 2
please
seconds?
Do.
So, you know, as a player, that's why what Ray Duncan and others, Junior Murray and Devon, and so he's planning to do, to develop the young cricketer from an early stage. Because you could find yourself on the park and you would play international cricket and you are actually trying to learn things about your cricket. So you feel within that environment that you are not quite ready. And when I look back at my playing days, the talent was always there. No one would question your talent. You could perform well enough to get to that level. But for you to remain in that environment with high intensity and very professional in everything that you do, you didn't have it. So that's why this program that Ray and others are doing is so important, to capture the young cricketer very early so that you can help them to develop quickly. Because I find myself I played international cricket when I was never fully developed, and that's where we struggle to perform at that level. But I'm so happy that I played so that I could understand that when a youngster comes into the team now, you have a close look at him. If you see that there are areas that you could help him quickly, you help him. So, the monitoring process up here, that helped me to monitor the players when they get into the team now, to see if I can find someone like myself, to say, hey, come, I try to show them everything quickly so they can learn if they didn't have it before. So that's what I believe has happened. And I think Jason is quite correct that, on the playing days, I didn't feel that I was quite ready to play international cricket, although I was talented. So that's what I don't want to happen to any youngster who would get to that West Indies team now.
Well said. Jason Skate, Ray, one of the grounds in St. David will be in your name. Hope it happens in your lifetime. Your eyes for talent is awesome, and your country appreciates you. Michael Pope Vincent, Ray, do you think the lack of more local competition has impacted the quality of players making the national team and subsequently regional and international selections?
Most definitely. Yeah. As Rawl just said, when we were playing much more cricket, the competition was greater. To get onto a national team was hard. You had to be at your very best. So definitely, Pox, I think you're right there.
Roger Duncan is throwing question to Rawl. What specific advice will you give to the parishes here in Grenada to induce greater interest in cricket and more games? What are the low-hanging fruits we got, if any?
The first thing I could think about is the facility. I keep mentioning facility because if you have a basketball court, no player don't have to do anything much. You get a pair of sneakers and you get a ball and you go and play. Now with cricket, you need much more than that. So we would have to have prepared facility for people to really go out and play cricket. Also the monitoring. If you have someone, for example, in Union, in my village, in the country, let's say Anthony Dixon is running a program Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. That is your training period. And, you have your WhatsApp group with everyone on the program. And, you have discussions, you have post-workout discussions. You get to know the guys that are into the program and girls. And, you develop this coordinated effort from everyone. But the first thing we have to start with, because I know when I was growing up as a youngster in Union, and the government sent people to cut the field, or the villagers decide that we're going to cut the grass in the pasture so we could get to put on a goal post or play some softball. That is a very exciting thing for me. Everybody used to go to the park because the grass is cut. So if we prepare the places for the activities to take place, where players can go and practice at will and be monitored, that is where we have to start.
That's Roger, I hope Rawl would have answered your question. And another comment from Lincoln Toro Depredine. The talent and facility, yes, but one important component is missing: the breakdown of West Indies cricket teams. Well, West Indies cricket seems to me to be heavily based in the mental strength and acumen of the players over the years, including their inability to adjust on the field circumstances. In sports, we all win and lose. It's expected. But excellent players and teams don't win as world champions today and tomorrow. They meet the same team and lose disastrously. That's from Lincoln Toro Depredine. And there's a comment here from Raphael George, Union, my village. I guess as much that's Rawl's village also.
Michael, one thing about the previous question. You'd have to do more than actually playing the sport or practicing on the field. You'd have to start teaching understanding or teaching certain situations in the game and so on. You know, give people different exercises to get them to understand, even things like field placings, you know, angles, and, you know, different stage of the game. Have them watch a lot of clips of, you know, matches and so on. Do presentations to them. So it's not only on the field. So, you know, you find we lose games sometimes, and, you know, you read the comments of some people and they believe that it's mental more with a lot of players and so on. But, you know, all of these areas we have to capture very early, because some people probably never sat with a mental skills coach until they get to a certain level in their game. So we have to start introducing that very early as well. So all of the areas need to be tightened, and then we produce, you know, a good product in the end.
Yeah. Well, actually, I know Muscles. He was just coming back to say he played with Rawl, Ivan, Steve, Tony Dix, and he's letting people know that
he is the Claus is my father, you know.
Yeah, Muscles the Calypsonian. So for those who don't know, Muscles the Calypsonian also played cricket, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
Jason said our Minister for Youth is a former cricketer. Maybe he could talk to the PM to see what can happen. Oh wait, he is the PM. I hope he's listening. Hi, Jason. Jason is cracking some jokes here now. So proud of Rawl. He came a long way, always humble. And Toro Depredine is saying, precisely, Rawl, that's my point. They have to be prepared mentally before they get out on the field. Visualize the game before it starts. And I believe it's something that Ray, you're doing, as indicated earlier on in the program. It's not just about learning the basics, but also the mental preparation. And the mental preparation is not only about the cricket itself, but as you indicated, involving so many other factors, incorporating, I should say, so many other factors. As you said, you had the police, you had folks from food and nutrition, you had, you know, various personnel coming in and speaking to them at that early age. And as Rawl indicated, the mistakes that would have been made during their time, they do not want the youngsters to fall prey to the same mistakes, meaning that they get in and don't understand, you know, what it is. And obviously, Rawl and others did not have that sort of opportunity that they are providing to these youngsters now. So Ray, your comment on the whole aspect of ensuring that these youngsters are mentally prepared even at an early age.
I think this is a critical aspect of the game, and I try to introduce that into the program, and we at times we would have a lot of fun with the guys, you know, pretending to having an interview with some of the kids. So we would gather together, and I would just select one person that to come up and pretend I have a mic right there and ask a question based on what happened in a game today. And you could see the nervousness and in this case, but you are preparing them for that sort of thing. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and they become much more secure at times and confident, because we keep doing it from time to time. So I think it's a critical aspect, and it's one that must be looked at.
Yeah. I'm certain that Rawl will tell you that he was not too fond of doing interviews and all of that when he was, he started as a cricketer. But now,
what about now, Michael? It's not so different now. It's not so different now.
You have, I'm making the point, Rawl. You have mastered everything,
Yeah.
Yeah. The question to Rawl and Mr. Duncan: are you in agreement that there is a concern that Test cricket is in serious jeopardy, in that the popularity of T20, T10, unlimited overs over Test cricket? Batsmen of today are mainly concerned about slugging every ball over the boundary rope, and they are not trying to defend their wickets. In addition, the game now is about securing financial contracts, about just money. What do you think will determine the future of Test cricket in the West Indies? Let me go with Ray first. Ray?
Well, we have different versions of the game, and we have players who are bent on Test cricket. Test cricket is their thing. So, given the opportunity, they will play Test cricket and would try to be at their best, right? We can't run away from the fact that T20s and one-day cricket might be a little bit more popular than the Test match cricket, because of the short version and the sort of entertainment it gives in a short period of time. But Test cricket, I think, as it's called, Test cricket brings out a lot in you. You're
testing the ability,
testing a number of your abilities to play the game. So I would like to see Test cricket remain, because if we look at it at the last Test, West Indies and Sri Lanka there, I mean, it was gripping, and the game changed from time to time. West Indies in control, Sri Lanka came, West Indies fighting back, and Sri Lanka, right down to the wire, and it was good, exciting cricket, So I think Test match cricket has its place, as well as the other versions.
Rawl?
Yeah, I agree with you, Coach, because for entertainment purposes, you look at a tournament like the IPL, you wouldn't get a bigger tournament than the IPL or World T20 or so on. But those commercially and even for fans, they rate these very high. But I tell you what, the Test matches that I've seen of recent, India and Australia, West Indies in Bangladesh, West Indies with Sri Lanka, that last match, and other matches. To me, Test cricket is not going to die. It's just the version of cricket that a certain type of individuals will play. And I find that the Test matches are becoming more and more exciting. 5 days, they're going into the 5th day now. And at the beginning of the 5th day, sometimes you can't tell who is going to win. There is no clear-cut winner. And that's what creates the excitement, just like if you're going to go and watch a 50-over match. So the last day of the Test match, to me, feels like one-day international, where you just start in the game and you don't know who's going to win. So I think the excitement is there in all formats of the game. But obviously, if you tell someone to go and look at a cricket match, they probably would prefer a T20 because there is more entertainment. But I know of a lot of people who would like to sit down and watch 5 good days of cricket. And I'm one of them because I love to watch and see someone like Nkrumah Bonner, just craft his way into 100, patient, and you watch these guys focus and concentrate. It's very, it's impressive. So I like Test cricket for sure. Well, I like every form of cricket, but when a Test match is leading into the 5th day, I don't think there's anything more exciting than that.
Well, guys, Ray, I told you, the 2 hours just slipped by, but there are some comments I want to just throw up here now. No, Mr. Skeeter will call Mr. Martin and tell him, come pick you up now. Where you there on the wharf? Muscles is saying, wait, I know Ray well also. We know each other well. He loved cricket from since he born. Great job, guys. Muscles probably put that in Calypso. Sharon Khalees is saying, I like this discussion. I loved village cricket competitions growing up. Hopefully this can come back again to get the youths involved in both the practical and theoretical aspects of cricket. Roger Duncan is saying, absence of that sports policy is a real killer. Here we are now with no fully assigned PE teacher at the schools to teach the rudimentary of the game. We are shooting ourselves in the foot. And Skeet is saying, serious question for both men. Do we need another Alan Stanford in West Indies cricket? Could you imagine how he would feel seeing this program for where he sits now? They spoil our game to grow theirs. And we, the West Indies, should have done more to protect him. Let me see if I can get some more comments before you wrap up on that. Kellon is saying, I salute Tyrone Harbin, Ray Duncan, Raphael Crony, Ashley Cummins, Walter St. John, and the list goes on. I enjoyed the discussion today and embrace your viewpoints. Keep encouraging the guys and remain dedicated. The future is still bright. Best of luck to you all. Any comments final comments to Jason? Jason's question regarding, do we need another Alan Stanford in West Indies cricket? Ray?
Certainly we can do with another Alan Sanford for real, because his input was one a building. As he said, he's doing this for starting at the grassroots level to build a cricket, and I want to believe that we should have been better off by now, because nets should have been in each parish by now. And it's so sad to see that, I think we can safely say of 2 nets on island, one at Tantine, one at Guave, one recently was built in St. Andrew. And so far we are behind. So Rawl made the point earlier too that we really need some more an improved facility. Yes, but very well, we could do with another Sanford to really help in building the cricket and the passion of cricket that we saw during that Stanford period.
Mm-hmm. And Rawl, the whole point, and I think you raised it a couple of times, having to do with facilities. And we know that facilities and maintenance of facilities and all that comes with it has to do a lot too with finance, and it's something that regional governments are trying to cope with, albeit the intervention of COVID-19 that certainly will affect any real investment in terms of facilities and sports and what have you. Obviously, health and others will get some sort of priority. But the point is being made that, facilities go a long way with talent. And going back to Jason's comment regarding similarity to this Alan Stanford in West Indies cricket, what do you think?
Certainly, we could do with some sponsorship in West Indies cricket, especially at the club levels, because cricket is an expensive sport to run. The facilities alone, if you have a full-time staff at any particular facility, that you have to pay monthly salaries, you have to maintain the equipment, the ground equipment, you have to have covers, and you treat the grass, and keep it, have the gym facilities at the stadium, and all of these things will be very expensive. So definitely, if we want to develop our players from the club level, then we need to expose them to those facilities at the club level. However, these things are very, very expensive, and hopefully, in not too distant future, we could, see some of the clubs in Grenada, or form some clubs in Grenada and the West Indies at the village level, where boys and girls can go in there, be exposed to proper facilities at a very early age. So when they branch out from those facilities and go into, at the international level, it would not be too surprising for them. So definitely, to maintain any cricket facility, you need finances. So, any sponsorship, I'm sure, would be welcome.
Okay, then. Well, as we get ready, well, not as we are wrapping up now, but I just want to take some comments here. Good afternoon, Mr. Duncan, Mr. Lewis, and Mr. Bascom, from Theo Duncan.
Theo.
And yes, and Kellen is saying any financial investor to win these cricket should be welcome once it is transparent and without scrutiny. Certainly anything is welcome. Ray, well, Theo is saying good point, Rawl. Let's wrap up now on the whole issue of the whole cricket. Well, I say the mystery cricket program. no longer a mystery, but let's wrap up on that, Ray, certainly. And then we'll get something from Rawl regarding that. How can folks be part of the program? What are your days of training? Just give us some final thoughts on the program itself, Ray.
Well, as I said, it's a Saturday morning cricket program that started off, January to June. But now that the kids are into the program so much that we extend the program because of them all the way to December. So it's a year-round program. We are in Las Vegas every Saturday morning from 9 to 12. And if anyone out there, interested in being a part of the program, yes, you can contact me at Las Vegas on Saturday mornings, or you can call 537-1012. That's my number. You can get in touch with me, and then we'll take it from there. But it's a really nice program, and I would encourage parents to, if you have a kid that is interested in playing cricket, you can get them into the program. You should get them into the program.
And finally, some comments from you, Rawl, as we wrap up on this program.
Well, Mike, I'm very, very happy to listen to Ray and to hear what he is planning to do or continue to do for cricket in Grenada. The way that we prepare our players, to have a career in cricket, is very, very important. And with him paying attention to the development of the individual, not only the cricketing side of it, is very, very important. I mean, I came from that background and I learned quickly, and I'm sure that there are many other persons out there who could have a future in the sport. You would have married what you do off the field with your on the field play, and with good exposure, good performances, you could quickly shoot up the ladder in West Indies cricket. So I'm very, very happy to be part of something like that. I want to be more involved, and there are some notes that I've made, and I said to Duncan before, there are certain things that we need to do, and this is one of them. Getting on the program here to expose the program. You're not exposing the program for the benefit of Ray Duncan or myself. You would expose the program for the mainly the benefit of the youngsters and, for the development of cricket in Grenada. So just, you can get yourself involved, get in touch with Ray, and, start taking your game serious, because there is a future in cricket and in sport. Cricket is the fastest growing sport in the Caribbean. So, let's all come together and work together to really build it. And I'm happy to be part of this. So Ray, I want to encourage you to continue. I know we talk pretty often, but, we just keep pushing and keep developing as we go along, so we could maintain and be consistent with what we're doing to help these youngsters. We want to produce more test cricketers. We want to produce more people to play for West Indies, more people to play in other leagues in the world. Follow Andre Fletcher. He used to be part of the program. He should come there and, be part of the whole development as well. So Michael, even yourself and your program, that's a big help to the program as well. So, everyone coming together, we'll build this. We certainly will build it back.
Thank you very much.
Let me just thank Rawl for the support that he has given to the program over the years, and the kids now accept him as one of us because they know of Rawl contribution to the program. And also to sorry Ryan that I did not mention your name earlier on. Someone just said that you forgot Ryan John was also a part of the program. So sorry, Ryan, but it's so much names to call. Thanks a lot, Michael, for having me on the program, and I look forward to being on the program again anytime. Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's always my pleasure, and I want to thank you and thank Rawl and thank all those who have contributed some way or the other, the comments, the questions, and I'm certain that these programs like that, and when I say program, I'm referring to the cricket program, will provide, and we'll see the fruits, of that hard labor that Rawl and Ray and all those who have been part of the program will provide. And I'm certain, Ray, I don't know if we had the opportunity to put the names of all those who are, well, I mean, probably, I don't know if you can give it at the top of your head, but those who are involved in the program, probably training, whatever aspect of it, that you probably want to say thanks to?
Well, certainly. First, I must thank the parents for sending the kids out there week after week. Track Blazers, their assistance and support is well known. Troy George,
yeah, that's the name.
Troy George recently has joined, the program in helping and so on. He's currently the coach of the senior team, parish team. So thank you, Troy, for passing by, and Mosley Simon, he's in Canada. He's a good supporter of the program as well, and I want to thank him for what he did for us, earlier on. And Paul Phillip, that's the guy who trained the kids, the cricketers. They would go to his program, physical training, injury, and whatever. He would handle them nicely. So I want to thank Paul as well. And it's a long list, but I hope that the names that I did not call, please forgive me, but you know that you have been making your contribution. Thank you very much.
Well, we can say all those who have contributed somewhere or the other, even though your name may not have mentioned, consider yourself being part of the entire family. Rawl, just some parting words from you before we close off?
Yeah, to the people who have, who commented and asked the questions, you can tell that they are on board with the development, what we are saying here. I could feel them. All the ideas are always good. So, Duncan, there is a lot of support out there, and we're going to tap into the support and build this whole thing. It's very impressive to see, someone like yourself, who you would have coached me at the national level. Well, actually, I got you out when I was playing for St. David's versus Couldn't bat me.
Not before scoring 87, Rawl.
But now that he has coached me at the senior level, and now that he is doing that, I just feel like I have to be part of this, and so we can work together. And very soon, we'll be calling Junior and say, listen, we want to come and play a match against your academy on this Saturday. We have to link them. It's not to say you do something separate in St. David's, Junior is doing something separate down there. We all play together. We come in together. Devon as well up in the north.
Right.
By the time a couple of years past, we would have covered the entire country and the entire island. So that's the aim. And Duncan, I want to encourage you to continue. And you always have my support quietly, though. But.
Thank you, Skipper. But, that's why we take the kids to Carriacou as the exchange.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to keep it to ourselves. We want to share it with Carriacou. And I must say that the first time we went there, they did not have the under 13 program, and they were forced to get into it so that we could be accommodated the next year that we went up. So it's a good thing that we're doing. We're sharing it with the sister.
And to you, Michael, as well. This is a very informative program. It becomes part of the Saturday routine. At 1 p.m. So, keep up the good work. That's a help as well to get the information out there to the wider community. So keep going as well. Keep going.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, man.
Take care.
Oh, okay then. Thank you. So there, folks, you had it. Rawl Lewis and Ray Duncan, former national players themselves. Rawl as the captain, Ray as the coach, and to some extent, Rawl was captain when Ray was playing as well. Well, whatever. Well, they played together, I should say. And then Ray became coach of the national team. And Ray has had an extensive journey in terms of cricket, as a cricketer himself, playing for Grenada, and he also coached Grenada, coached Windward Islands teams, various stages, and he is now in doing his coaching in St. David. He hasn't really found a name for that cricket coaching program. We'll find a name and we'll give it an appropriate name, because it's important. And I like the idea that Rawl came up with at the end, suggesting that at some stage, probably Ray's program can, play against Junior Murray's academy. And then hopefully when Devon starts his own in St. Patrick, he can also. So there are good things in store for these kids. I want to thank Ray. I want to thank Rawl for being part of the program. Just a program note to let you know that effective Thursday, April 15, our program, that's the midweek program, will move to a new time. It will start at 8 p.m. instead of 6:30 p.m. So it will be from 8 to 9 p.m. That's from Thursday, April 15th. Okay. The Saturday program will remain at 1 o'clock. And we're doing all these changes in light of the daylight saving time and all these sort of things to maintain some sort of permanent time. And also to let you know that our program will now be aired and simulcast throughout the region. You'll hear more about it in the coming days. We'll be moving on to a new platform where our programs will be aired in the various islands through a new platform. So look out for more information regarding that. So folks, your comments, your involvement will not just be on the TalkSports or the Saturday Sports Special, but and on social media, but will also be on television stations throughout the region. We'll have more about that probably by next week, but just to let you know. Thank you very much to all those who have been part of the program, including Theo, who always come towards the end to bring her comments or final comments. Thank you very much. Also to Lincoln Toro Deputy, Jason Skeet, Kellon, Antoine. We also had Roger Duncan, Vida Bruno-Victor, Michael Brooks, Vincent, just name it. Rafael George, yes. Muscles. Didn't know you were a cricketer yourself, but Rawl remembered you. Also Leslie, yes, Leslie for his comments, and that's Leslie McQueen, and I guess as much the memories of cricket back in those days when St. David's ruled cricket in Grenada. The hope is that at some stage we'll be able to see cricket being played in the villages as before, where had teams in St. Patrick, St. Andrews had various leagues, divisions, I should say, Division A, B, C, and D. You had as many as probably 40 teams participating in the St. Andrews competition on a weekend. Wow, that used to be a lot of cricket being played. Hopefully that we will return to those days of cricket. Thank you very much, folks. I do enjoy your company on a Saturday afternoon, and the invitation is yours to join us on Thursday at 6:30 for another in our Talk Sports program. But remember, come the 15th of April, our new time slot will be 8 o'clock in the evening for our midweek program. I want to thank you very much for being part of our program. As always, I do enjoy your company, and looking forward to you being on another program on Thursday at 6:30 in the evening. Thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend.